Lexus is one of the few luxury brands out there that takes its sweet time updating its vehicles. Not only that, Lexus takes its sweet time offering shoppers the latest tech and gadgets. Well, we finally have an update to one of the best-selling vehicles in the brand's lineup, and it features some impressive new tech that we'll see in other Lexus models. My name is Omar, and this is the 2022 Lexus NX. If you're a fan of compact luxury SUVs, hit that like button, and if you're in the market for one, lucky you, I've tested a bunch of them, and you can find them on my channel. And while you're browsing around, consider hitting that subscribe button. Just consider it, I'm not forcing you. So the Lexus NX was in need of a serious update. This segment has been heating up with some very impressive options, and the NX was definitely starting to fall behind. To be honest, this segment is getting so blurred that I don't even know what to put this up against. Should it be the BMW X1, X3, Mercedes-Benz GLA, GLC, or even the GLB? You see what I mean? We have way too many compact luxury SUVs or crossovers, whatever you want to call it. That said, let's talk about how this stacks up against the outgoing NX. Since its birth, the NX has been based on the Toyota RAV4, and the last generation model wasn't really all that exciting. This one here, though, even though this is still based on the RAV4, is a huge improvement. This is a huge step over the outgoing NX. Lexus has done an outstanding job when it comes to comfort, sound isolation, and overall luxury. When it comes to comfort, the NX here is honestly unbeatable. This thing just glides down the road like butter. The ride quality is drastically improved. Sound isolation wise, it is very quiet in here. Yes, under some hard acceleration, you will have some engine noise being pumped into the cabin, but at cruising speeds, this is a pretty nice and calm cabin. And when it comes to luxury, just look at this cabin. This is leaps and bounds better than the outgoing model. You've got new tech, a huge 14-inch touchscreen display. All the materials in here are nothing short of what you expect from Lexus. So how does it drive? The one I'm testing here is the Lexus NX350 F Sport. It pumps out 275 horsepower from a 4-cylinder turbo engine. Now, Lexus isn't interested in offering you crazy performance, but this thing will do 0 to 60 in about 6.6 seconds, which is not that bad. You've got Sport mode, Sport S mode, and then Sport S Plus mode, and I'm in Sport S Plus. And acceleration is pretty solid. It definitely feels more dynamic to drive than the outgoing NX, and a lot of that has to do with the drivetrain. They have gotten rid of the CVT for the gasoline-only models and have replaced it with an 8-speed automatic. Now, it isn't the fastest shifting 8-speed out there, and I don't expect it to be. Buyers of the NX aren't really concerned with performance, and if they are, they're probably going to go with something like the BMW X3 M40i, which I'm also testing right now. But yeah, overall, this is a drastic improvement for the NX and the Lexus brand in general. So, do I recommend the new Lexus NX over the competition? Let's find out. Let me give you a quick tour, and then I'll give you my opinion on whether or not if you should upgrade your current NX or buy the new one over the competition. All right, let's do this. All right, before we get into everything else like the pricing breakdown and the exterior and interior updates, let's take a look at all the cool and interesting things that you should know about the new 2022 NX. Before we even get inside and check out the new interior and tech of the new NX, let's talk about how we get inside. Instead of having traditional door handles, the new NX has electronic door releases. Once you grab the handle, you'll feel the button in the back, and that will pop open the door. Same thing, once you get inside, you just push this latch right here and the door will pop open. And just in case electronic release fails or the battery dies, you can just pull this latch towards you 2 times to get out. By the way, I just discovered this. In case your battery dies and you're on the outside, you can pull this latch under the door handle to get inside. Now, once you're inside, you're welcomed by a brand new interior, and the first thing you'll probably notice on my test model here is this giant 14-inch touchscreen display. This thing is absolutely huge, but it does give the NX and the Lexus brand overall a much needed update that we've been waiting for. The screen is very sharp and very high res. It's also a very quick system in terms of performance. You can easily bounce around from screen to screen without any hangups or glitches. Now, as you spend more time in here, you'll pick things up fairly quickly. The top part of the screen is your main area, and the bottom part here consists of your climate control settings. You can even talk to it by saying, "Hey Lexus,
how can I help you?
Turn on my heated seats."
Setting the driver's seat heater to high.
All Lexus NX trims get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto as standard, so that's nice, and it looks really beautiful on this giant screen. Now, navigation is not standard, but it's a part of a subscription cloud-based service called Drive Connect, which is a bit odd to me that you will have to pay monthly for navigation in the NX. That said, the only other thing that I don't like about this system is that you don't have a home screen. You have to stay inside the screens that you select here. You can never just go home. And I hope they'll change that soon because Lexus says that this whole system is capable of over-the-air updates. Let's stay focused on tech for a few seconds more. The new NX also gets a digital instrument cluster display. Nothing too fancy here. You don't have a full screen map view. The only excitement you'll see here is when you circle through your drive modes, and if you decide to rev a little bit higher, you'll see a nice orange and red color. Now, what is cool is the 10-inch heads-up display and how it functions with these two touch capacitive buttons right here on the steering wheel. As you run your thumb over these toggles, you'll see a pop-up of what they do in the heads-up display. My left toggle controls consist of my media control, so I can skip a track, increase or lower the volume, and much more. And then when I hit this button right here, it will switch over to my climate controls. That's pretty cool. The right toggle controls what I see in the gauge cluster and the height of my heads-up display. And then when I click this button right here, it will switch over to my adaptive cruise control settings. You can also go into the infotainment system and assign some other various things that these toggles can control if you want to switch things up. By the way, if you don't like a heads-up display and you turn it off, the breakdown of those touch capacitive buttons will be displayed right here in the gauge cluster, so you don't have to get the heads-up display if you don't want to. Now, there are a few more interesting features that I want to point out without taking up too much time, so let's do a quick rapid-fire session. What do you think about this shifter? Cool or no? I miss big shifters that you could really hold on to while you're driving. This button right here in the center console with the picture of a forest looks cool. This is the button that you hit when you go do off-roading. But come on, nobody's going off-roading in the NX. You have optional ambient lights, but even at 100% brightness, you can barely see them at nighttime, so no reason to get that. The 360 game is pretty strong. You can see what's under your NX while you're in drive or reverse, so if you need to see if you're going to drive over anything or anyone, you can see that. And you can also change the color of your NX. Nori Green is my personal favorite. And last but not least, probably my favorite feature on the 2022 Lexus NX, if you have the optional power folding rear seats, you can fold them from right here sitting in the driver's seat by using the infotainment system. Just go into vehicle settings, click seat settings, and here you can select which seat you want to fold, or you can simply click fold all and both of them will fold down. Best part is that you can raise them from right here. Just click raise all and they will all go back into user position. Now that is really, really cool. Oh, and just as a warning, make sure the seats are clear of people or items, and that just gives me some really fun ideas to mess around with my friends and family. All right, let's talk about how much the new NX costs. Pricing starts at $37,950 for the base NX250 and goes all the way up to $56,900 for the NX450h F Sport. Now, I can spend a whole day breaking down how Lexus packages and options out its vehicles because it can get pretty detailed and somewhat confusing. So instead of breaking it down trim by trim, package by package, I'm just going to give you an overview of the most important features you get as standard on every trim, and I'll also highlight some important ones that are part of a package or are optional. So as standard, every NX comes with a 9.8-inch touchscreen display with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Depending on the trim you go for, you'll have to pay extra for this larger 14-inch touchscreen display I have here as a standalone option or as a part of a package. Again, the native navigation system and Hey Lexus personal assistant are also optional and require a monthly subscription. Next up, all Lexus NX trims come standard with a 10-speaker premium audio system, but if you want the Mark & Levinson 17-speaker sound system, that is optional on every trim except the 450h for an extra $2,125. Check this out, a Lexus with a USB-C port. That's awesome. But guess what? If you want a wireless charger, that's extra on every single trim from the base to the top for an extra $450. All right, let's keep going. Every Lexus NX comes standard with dual zone climate control and heated front seats, which is pretty sweet, but most new luxury vehicles will give you the same. Ventilated or cooled front seats are optional on every trim except the NX 450h. Heated rear seats are also optional on most trims, and that will give you power rear seats that I showed you earlier, so you should definitely add that. A heated steering wheel here will cost you an extra $250. By the way, a power tilt and telescopic steering wheel is optional on most NX trims as a part of the premium or luxury package. I feel like that should have been standard. Now, most luxury cars have started offering a panoramic sunroof as standard. Not bad, but here, on most NX trims, you will have to add on the luxury package just for a regular moonroof. And if you want a panoramic glass roof like my test model here, that will cost you an extra $500. The power tailgate is also optional, which I feel should be standard when you're going luxury. And if you want that kick to open tailgate feature, that can be had with the addition of the premium package or the luxury package. Now, I absolutely love Lexus's triple beam Lyrical Dream LED headlamps, but they're optional on every single NX trim for an extra $850. Now, when it comes to safety and driver assist tech, this is where the NX really kills it. As a part of the Lexus Safety System Plus 3.0, you get a bunch of driver assist tech as standard, including adaptive cruise control, lane departure alert and lane tracing and steering assist, a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection. You'll get road sign recognition, blind spot monitoring, intelligent high beams, and much more, all as standard. In fact, there are only 2 driver assist features that will cost you extra, including the 360-degree camera, which also adds on lane change assist, and a digital rear view camera, which adds on that really cool heads-up display that I showed you earlier. All right, let's talk horsepower and torque. The 350 F Sport that I'm testing here is powered by a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine, pumping out 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. As for 0 to 60, the 350 F Sport here will do it in 6.6 seconds with a top speed of 127 miles an hour. All other Lexus NX trims have a top speed of 124 miles an hour. When it comes to fuel economy, the Lexus NX350 here will give you 22 city and 28 highway. You have a 14.5 gallon tank capacity. I'm averaging, after a few days of driving and a lot of idling, a total of 18.1 miles a gallon. Let's take a look at the exterior design of the new NX, and yeah, this is 100 times better than the outgoing model. The compact luxury SUV segment isn't one of the most exciting when it comes to exterior design. The Germans remain pretty reserved with their styling. I think the Acura RDX and the Genesis GV70 are 2 that have a more daring style. As for the new NX right here, I think it looks pretty sharp and is definitely more on the daring side. Of course, you got a bigger Lexus signature spindle grille right on the front. It sits more upright, almost at a 90-degree angle. The rear of the new NX is where you'll notice a bigger change from the recent Lexus design language. You have taillights that span the full width of the rear, which most brands and models are doing these days. And now, instead of just a regular Lexus emblem on the back, you have Lexus spelled out in large lettering, which a lot of luxury brands are also doing now, and I'm here for it. I kind of like it. The F Sport that I'm testing here looks a little bit more aggressive with an exclusive grille, mesh grille, redesigned intakes which are bigger than the ones on the regular model. You got a rear bumper, F Sport badging, and blacked out trim, so it just looks more aggressive. Now, I will say that the atomic silver color that you see right here probably is the least exciting in the NX lineup. I would go for the F Sport in either ultra white, ultrasonic blue, or cadmium orange, because unfortunately Nori green pearl, which is my favorite color, is not offered on the F Sport. Oh, and by the way, the NX F Sport comes with these awesome 20-inch gloss black wheels that look really, really sharp. Now let's check out the cargo capacity. Before we get inside, you can pop the trunk by using the kick to motion thing if you have it, or you can just hit this button here. And once you get it opened, you have 22.7 cubic feet behind the second row. And with the second row folded, you have 46.9 cubic feet. Let's just call it 47. Now, we've seen the interior quite a bit throughout this review, so let's talk about design and comfort. First of all, there is no denying that Lexus is one of the best brands when it comes to quality and the use of high quality materials throughout their cabin. Every touch point in here feels outstanding. Everything is just really well put together. The armrest area and the knee area are really well padded, just like all Lexus models, and that's something I really appreciate about this brand. The seats, they're extremely comfortable, which again, Lexus is known for. Even the seat on this F Sport trim that I'm testing here, which is meant to be sportier, they're very comfortable. They are really well bolstered, but not extremely tight. Design-wise, this is much more exciting than the outgoing NX. Lexus has the tendency to stretch out a generation for a specific model quite a bit, and the NX was getting really up there. Everything in here is nicely styled. It feels more modern, and again, it's packed with a lot of tech, something that a lot of Lexus shoppers have been waiting for. As for rear legroom, there is no difference. You still have 36.1 inches, just like the outgoing NX, which is still not segment leading, but it's okay. I'm about 6 foot tall. That is my seating position, as you can see. Good amount of room. Now, before I give you my opinion on how the new NX stacks up against the competition, let me point out a few random things that I'll have to show all of you. You have 4 cup holders, 2 in the front right there. Those are bottle holders. They do not count as cup holders. Then you have 2 in the back right there for the rear passengers. Here are the keys to the new NX. No remote start on the key itself. That can be done through the Lexus Inform app that you can install on your iPhone. And you do get a digital card or a digital key, and you get a smart key that you can put on your phone if you want that option. Door open and close sound from the outside. And from the inside. Charging game wise, I think this will be the first Lexus that you have that has a USB-C port. So welcome to 2022 or 2021, depending on when I publish this. You got a USB-A port and you get an optional wireless charger. I wish it was standard. You have no charging ports in the center armrest in the front. My people chilling in the second row get a cigarette lighter charger and 2 USB-C ports, so that's pretty awesome. It is now time for an indicator and horn sound test here with the 2022 Lexus NX. Indicator first. Same Lexus indicator. Now for the horn sound. That's solid. Pass for me. Sounds good. Let's go. And now that I've given you a tour of the 2022 Lexus NX, let me give you my opinion on whether or not if you should buy one. All right, let's get to it. So yeah, if you currently have an NX and you're thinking about upgrading, definitely go for it. This is a huge improvement over what you currently have. As for the rest of the segment, again, I'll say what I always say. Test drive everything in a particular segment that you're shopping in before making your decision. The new NX is definitely one of the more comfortable options in this segment, but it is also one that doesn't care about performance. Now, there are two things that I want to point out about the NX that I noticed during my week of driving this. The cabin does feel tighter than the X3 M40i that I'm testing right now, but rear legroom is the same, so you might want to sit inside and kind of feel the space out a little bit. The other thing that I noticed is that on a full tank, the NX350 F Sport right here will give you a total range of 200 miles, which kind of surprised me because that's like electric vehicle range, even less than electric vehicles. If you're cross-shopping this against an X1, the GLA, or the GLB and don't care for performance, I definitely recommend the NX. If you're thinking about the X3, the Mercedes-Benz GLC, or even the Genesis GV70, definitely test drive all of those and see which one gets you excited. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace. Not a fan of the atomic silver color. Definitely don't get it in this color. Definitely get the F Sport, but maybe consider the, what is it, cadmium orange? That's a cool color.